What's going on, everybody? Today we are going to be talking about fishing knots. Got a special guest, Chief, here today. You are going to be seeing a lot of him if I do videos around the house. This is the studio. Fishing knots are something that every fisherman needs to know. It should be really the first thing that you teach anybody or the first thing that you're taught. You can go out and spend as much money as you want to on rods, reels, line, lures, whatever you want to do. And if you can't tie a knot, you can't catch a fish. You're never going to get them in the boat. So today we're going to try to help that. We're going to talk about 3 of my favorite knots. We're going to talk about how to use them, why I use them, and when you should probably use them. I hope this helps you guys out and maybe gives you all a better understanding, and this helps you guys get more fish in the boat. That's what's important. So let's get to it. Okay, guys. This camera angle took me forever. I could not figure out how to set this camera angle up for nothing. So we're going to do 3 knots today, and we're going to start in kind of an order. I want these to make sense for you guys. So we're going to just do some simple shank hooks with an offset, just something that you all can see the tie on. That's all I'm concerned with. You can use these knots on lures and everything, and I'll explain each one as we go. Alright, the first one that we're going to do is called the double Shindo knot. Now this knot is great for just strength, all out strong knot, something that you can really set the hook with. I use the double Shindo knot if I'm fishing through heavy cover, something with a braid, a Texas rig, something like that, and you really got to set that hook in. So to do the double Shindo, first thing you're going to do is I hope you all can see this. First thing we're going to do is we're going to feed the line through the eye of the hook. And then we're going to come back the same way that we went through. Okay, it's very important to keep the line parallel to each other. So you want to make sure that your line isn't crossed. You want your line to be parallel. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold the hook, and we're going to take this loop that we've created by going back through the hook. Hope you all can see that. And we're going to spin it around our main line and our tag line 5, 6, or 7 times. Okay. Now once you've done that, you are going to take that loop, the loop end that you're holding, and it's going to come back through where your finger is, where that loop is. You see that? So you're just going to take that. So you're just going to take that and feed it through. And then you've created a second knot up here. And you're going to take this loop, and go back through that second loop. It's going to look something like this. And then all you're going to do is cinch it down. So you're going to have your loop, and then this is going to run out to your main line and your tag end. You're going to take those 2 lines and simply pull. Now I like to take each one of the lines, your main line, pull it down, take your tag line, cinch it down, and then do them together just to make sure you're extra strong there. The problem that I have with this knot is it does create 3 separate tag ends. So when we cut these off, you're going to be left with 3 tag ends. I usually cut them a little shorter, but for the demonstration, so you all see what I'm talking about, those are the 3 tag ends that we have. And that's perfectly fine with braid. If you're, like I said, if you're fishing through heavy cover and you've got a Texas rig, you're running a worm, or something along those lines, and the braided ends aren't going to be very abrasive. So that's not a huge issue. However, if you're wanting a strong knot, and you're using a monofilament or a fluorocarbon line and you don't have braid, then these become an issue. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this one off. So there's our hook with our double Shindo knot. Let's see if we can get that to focus. And there are our tag ends. Braid, very soft, it's not abrasive, you're not going to have a problem. So this is the knot if I'm in a similar situation and I'm fishing vegetation and I've got to get that hook set, but I've got fluorocarbon or monofilament line. Like we do on this knot, every time you pull up out of those weeds, you're going to bring some sort of vegetation or algae, something up with your hook. They're going to be on those points. So to avoid that, we're going to do a trolley knot. Now, a trolley knot is also good for setting the hook and really getting that strong bite, but you're not bringing up half the bottom with you. So to do a trolley knot, we're going to do something similar. We're going to go through the eye of the hook, but instead of coming back through, we're going to create a loop. So we're going to take the end and we're going to go back through the way that we came. I know this line, I'm using green line. I'm hoping it's a little more visible. But so we're going to create a loop. Okay, so after we have our loop, we're going to kind of slip our finger in. Let's see if I can do this for the camera here. In that loop. So we want to keep that loop around our finger so we don't lose it. Now after we get our loop in, we're going to do the same thing as we did in the double Shindo knot. So we're going to come around the same as we would a clinch knot. So we're going to come around 5, 6, 7 times. And then you're going to notice that you now have 2 loops because you just created one by twisting the line. So you want to make sure that your tag end, you come back through. This is very important that it comes back through both loops that you've created. All right. Simply hold your tag in, grab your main line. You should look something like this, and then just cinch her down. Now you'll notice just the difference between this one and the knot that I showed you before, the double Shindo knot. Now you notice that unlike the double Shindo knot, your tag end is directed down towards the hook. So now if you're pulling through the vegetation, this tag end doesn't have an opportunity to hang up on anything. Now let's cut that. I'm going to leave it a little long so you all can see what I'm talking about. So now that we've got it cut, do you see how pointy that little tag is? I hope you can. I don't know if you can. But if you're in a weedless situation and you're running a Texas rig or something and you've really got to get it, that's not going to pull up any vegetation. So if you have a fluorocarbon, I would probably steer clear of the double Shindo knot, and my bet would be on the trolley knot. Okay, now if I'm being completely honest with you, there's one knot that I use for about 95% of my situations. And it's really the one knot that serves just about any purpose that I need it to, minus tying a leader. And that is the polymer knot. The polymer knot is very simple. It's quick. It's effective. You can do it fast and in a pinch. It's great for beginners. And what I love about it is I despise tying on new tackle whenever I'm out there trying to fish. I want to cast out. I want to catch a fish. I want to bring it in. That's what I want to do. I don't want to sit and tie on tackle the whole time I'm out there. So whenever I discovered the polymer knot, that was it for me. This is my knot. It's as simple as tying your shoes, guys. So if you don't know a polymer knot, pay attention, disregard everything else, and this is your winner. You can use this with monofilament. You can use it with fluorocarbon. You can use it with braid. You can use it with anything you want to. This knot works great. So we're going to get the braid back out just because I think it's a little easier for you guys to see. I'm going to try not to go too fast on this because this is a very simple knot. So the first thing you're going to do, just like the other ones, you simply feed the line through the hook. And like the double Shindo knot, we're going to come back through the same way we came in the beginning. Now it's very important for this knot that your line is not crossed. Okay, you want it to be parallel. If it's crossed, bad. Parallel, good. Alright. So, I told you all when we started, it's as simple as tying your shoe. This is how simple it gets. Grab your loop, grab your tag and your main line, make a loop knot just like you're tying your shoe. Okay? Now, you're going to have this loop left. You're going to take it and you're going to go around your hook. This works for lures and everything else. The only thing you need to be sure of whenever you're cinching this down is you don't want to get wrapped along the eye of a hook or a lure. You want it to be free to not snag when you cinch it down. Because the beauty of this knot is it just tightens down on itself. So you don't want it to tighten down on anything else. So we're going to go slow when we cinch it down. Also like to point out that it's very important to wet your line. These are demonstrations. I haven't been wetting it down because I'm not too concerned with it. I'm going to cut these off anyway. But if you're out there on the water, and especially with a fluorocarbon or a monofilament line, when you cinch these lines down around each other, then you create an abrasive heat spot. So that spot gets weaker over time. You don't want that. You don't want your line to be any weaker than it has to be when you're out there on the water. So make sure you wet your line. You can use saliva or whatever. So when you cinch your knot down, you're going to notice that this loop starts to come down around itself. You see this? And that's what you want. You want that nice cover at the end. And that's as simple as knots can get, guys. So we'll cut this tag off. And there you have it. There's your polymer knot. So to compare the three, your three knots, guys, we've got the double Shindo knot, great for heavy cover, really setting the hook, braid applications, awesome knot. Trilene knot is excellent whenever you're fishing cover with monofilament or a fluorocarbon line. And this right here, your polymer knot, that's your bread and butter. Learn your polymer knot, get out there, catch fish. Alright, well that's going to be it, guys. I hope this helps you all. I hope it was simple enough. If there's anything else you all think that I can do for you, make a video, help you understand something, I'm all ears. I'm all about it. I really appreciate you all watching if you got this far. And until next time, guys, get out there and fish. We'll see.